Paris Hilton is testifying before a House committee hearing today in support of modernizing child welfare programs. Hilton has spoken publicly about the alleged emotional and physical abuse she experienced when she was put in a residential youth treatment facility as a teenager. ABC News contributing political correspondent Rachael Bade joins me now with the latest. Rachael, Hilton is testifying about how the child welfare program in general, these programs can be improved. So what are you listening for as she talks to these lawmakers today?
Yeah, good morning, Diane. Paris Hilton, she's been to Capitol Hill a number of times over the years to advocate for these issues and basically supporting troubled teens. My question is, what sort of commitment can she get from lawmakers today to actually pass in advance legislation that she says will actually create this sort of solution? She's pushing for a bill that would basically create a working group at the federal level to create best practices on how to help these teens in these sorts of programs and make sure that there's some sort of study to keep programs from using things like restraints, seclusion and youth programs as well. So she actually has a very personal connection to this, as you just mentioned a minute ago. She said that when she was a teen, she was in a school for behavioral issues and she was strangled, slapped, sedated, and put in a cell. And she has been able to sort of use her personal story to advocate in various states to get 5 different states to pass legislation on this issue. The question is, can she get it at the federal level, Diane?
And Rachael, 23-time Olympic gold medalist Michael Phelps was on the Hill yesterday testifying about doping in the Olympic Games. So how are lawmakers reacting to Phelps endorsing a lifetime ban for any athlete caught doping?
Yeah, look, I mean, Phelps was pretty much preaching to the choir when he was up there talking on Capitol Hill. There is a lot of concern amongst lawmakers about reports from just, a few years ago when 23 swimmers from China were found to have actually tested positive for some sort of performance-enhancing drug, and yet they were secretly approved to continue to compete in the Olympics. Some of them actually got medals, and they're going to be competing again in the coming months. So there is a concern about this on Capitol Hill. The issue Congress has is that this is sort of overseen by more of a world agency called the World Anti-Doping Agency. There's only so much they can do here. So what they're trying to do on Capitol Hill this week was actually use people like Phelps to name and shame what is going on to actually try to create some sort of change and accountability.
Meanwhile, Rachael, House Speaker Mike Johnson says the House is aggressively, that's the word he used, trying to force a subpoena for Attorney General Merrick Garland. What's the latest there?
Yeah, Diane, Speaker Johnson is under tremendous pressure right now to do something to try to force Attorney General Merrick Garland to turn over these tapes of Joe Biden when he testified before Special Counsel Robert Hur. Republicans very much want that information. He has refused to give it over. There's an effort this week by a Republican in Florida named Anna Paulina Luna. She wants to basically pass a resolution that would allow Congress to arrest and bring Merrick Garland to the Hill to force him to turn over this information and hold him until he does that. This is this is a tactic that has not been used in almost 100 years. It's very rare. Democrats talked about doing it during the Trump administration when the president himself and the Attorney General at the time, Bill Barr, were refusing to turn over various documents in their own investigations. Ultimately, Democrats decided not to do it because of how controversial it would be and questions about how it would actually be implemented. And similarly, I'm hearing from my Republican sources on the Hill that this isn't going anywhere. That's why you're seeing Johnson say, look, I'm going to find a way to try to uphold these subpoenas. He's trying to sort of get around this pressure and this idea being proposed by some on the far right. The problem is that Congress really doesn't have a way to enforce these subpoenas outside of the court system, Diane.
All right, contributing political correspondent Rachael Bade. Rachael, thank you.